Hi, it's Jez here from Nigezza Creates, and this little pile here can just mean one thing. I'm going on a Stampin' Up team event, so that means swaps. So I've made all these very bright, colourful swaps, not my normal crafting colour palette, so what I've used is the 6x6 colour family paper packs that we have. So we have a paper pack for each of our colour families, and I basically used all the colours I don't particularly like. So, and I know lots of people love all these bright colours, so that's okay. We're all different, aren't we? But there's not a single purple one, and there's not a single neutral, and the only regals in there are the ones that I don't particularly like. There's no subtles, even though they're not my favourite, and that's because to stamp this image here, I stamped off for the flower and used full strength for the words. And so if I'd used subtles, that wouldn't have worked, because stamping off, you'd have hardly seen it. So yes, so these are my swaps. I've used the Desert Delight. Is that what it's called? I've been working non-stop with this for weeks and I still can't remember. Desert Details. Okay, so I'm doing a inspiration station. I think that's what we're calling it. It's what I've been calling it anyway. So I've got the whole suite, the Delicate Desert entire suite, and I've been busy making things. Some might have been on my blogs already, and I did a video on the 1st of March using the dies and the stamp sentiment from this. So I've used that flower and that sentiment, you are what sunshine feels like. I thought that was pretty good, because when we have a Stamping Up event, whatever event, it really does feel like sunshine. We just smile and laugh the entire time. We have such great fun. And I've used one of the dies on the back. So the die set, this is the die set. So we've got these lovely frames. I've been using it, so it's all not neat. So loved that. These frames are the main reason for getting it, I have to say. So that lovely strange looking die there is what I've used on the back there. Loved it. So I looked at this and went vintage frames. So wasn't so keen on the floral bit. Oh, they're the wrong way around. That's probably why. There, then they're flatter. This I thought was weird, I have to say, but I've used it loads and I like it. Yeah, I liked that as well, a lot. So that's the set. And this paper, 2 lots of papers and ribbon and embellishments as well. But I think I've done an unboxing of this that involved this suite. I'm just madly filming things because I'm going on holiday and I don't know what order they're all coming out in. So yeah, so there we have it. Little package there. I've used that die there for the closure. I've used the Very Best Trio punch there. Open it up, my details, and a little After 8 mint. And so it's a lovely little pouch. You could use it for loads of things. As somebody obsessed with junk journals, then this package could, this little envelope could easily be in a junk journal as well. And yeah, and if you send out happy mail, then it's nice, and it's also nice for thank yous to customers. So if you sell things, that's quite nice to just pop in as a little thank you. Anyway, and somewhere around here I have my prototype, and in my prototype I used that on the front, and then that left the back plain, and it was like, oh, it's a bit boring, isn't it? just a little tad boring. Let's have a little thought. And I did have another little thought, one of these yellow ones. Oh, my other little thought for closing. Oh, there it is. So this was my first attempt to put it on the front, and then I just put a little thing on the back with Jez on it, so people knew it was from me. And I just thought, actually, that's just rubbish. So that's why I did that. And I made it, I thought this would be really simple, quick little envelopes, doesn't take much. I did use my scan and cut to cut all of these out. That one's been die cut, but all the rest I cut out on my scan and cut. I thought simples, so I'm not cranking my die cutting machine. And then I chose a die cut on the back. That one I scored wrong, so that one's a bit, I'm not, they might be rejects, I might not take them. But yeah, so anyway, enough of the waffle. Let's get on and let's show you how to make them. So I always like, when I'm making swaps, is to use the least amount of product, because it can be quite costly when you're making like 50 of them or more sometimes. So 3 by 6, so half a sheet of 6 by 6. Obviously that's not a single sheet, is it? But anyway, so I thought I'd put 2 together. I think it looks better on the spotty side than on that side, so we're going to do it spotty side. So we are scoring just 1/4 inch on each of the ends, and that's just the right width then. So we got 2.5, which is a perfect width for an after 8 min. Obviously it would take other things. I do have little sewing kits, which was another option, but I did sewing kits last time. So then we're going to score at 2, and then we're going to score at 4 5/8. So that gives us our little envelope closure. Just double checking. Oh no, that was not correct, Jez. So 2 3/4. See, I didn't write them down, but I think 2 3/4 it is that distance. So 4 3/4 to score. See, this is why I'm doing 2, because I don't know why I didn't write it down. That's better, isn't it? Oh no, that one's right. I think I might have been right the first time. Don't matter. It don't matter. So 2, I'm going 4 5/8 because that's what I've written down. And that's what's going to go on the blog post. Okay, 1/4 inch either end. Score at 2. Score at 2. Score at 4 5/8. Very quick envelope. I mean, these sort of envelopes, they're really easy to make. So if you're doing it, whatever you're making an envelope for, whether it's for a bit of happy mail, going in a journal, mini album, making a quick package of some sort. Yeah. Then doing envelopes this way, really super easy. Not really bothered that that one's, I might make that as though it's deliberate, but it's slightly gusseted, because there we go. So you'll know if you're going to the event, you know you've possibly got the one where I did a boob on. There we go. We'll make it unique, one of a kind. There we go. So that's that. So what we want to do is we want to cut these bits out. So I like to use my big ruler. No, that's a pair of scissors, Jess. Do you know, some days you just need to stop and start again. So I'm going to notch that bit there, and then we need to take the whole of these side bits out. So I'm going to notch into there, into there, and then we cut up. That's why long scissors are really good, because you can get a nice long stroke, take it off. And the same on this one. Like so. So that's your shape. So we'll do this one as well. So if you didn't see, you don't do what I just did then. Not that it matters, because that's coming off. I made that mistake on this one. That's why we've got a really long flap. It's this that we're keeping. So concentrate, Jezebel, concentrate. So there we go. Do that. And then I'll say it doesn't matter that I did that notching, because this is all coming off, so it wasn't a massive disaster. There we go. So that's our cutting. All done. I'm going to chuck those, not keeping those scraps. All right. So they just need to be cut up there. You might then need to do slight adjustments with your cutting. See, that one's absolutely fine. This one, I can see a tad there, which I'm not happy about. And then I can see on there the sort of ridge of the score line. So I'm just going to go back in and trim down. You could use a trimmer for this, but I find if you've scored, then the trimmer don't like it. There, see, that's mucho better. So we're just going to put a little bit glue on there. I've left this open all night. But it's fine. I find with Collall, it usually is. Usually not a problem. Whereas other glues, that would be a problem. There we go. Just going to stick a block on that. Same on there. So you see how sort of this bit is quite quick. Stick that block on there. So now we're going to bring in our, you know, get crafter lunch every time. Punch. So I did it so that it was that way on rather than the rounded towards the top. Or is it? Can't even remember. Oh, well, that one, all I did was round the corner. So that's another option. Just use a corner rounder if you haven't got this. But I know I did it so the rounded was through the round window, Jez. Do it that way. But I just think this gives a nice fancy end. Like it for the envelope. Looks good. And then that one. So that's your basics done. That's your envelope done. So if you wanted to make mini envelopes, there you go. That's a mini envelope. But you do need closures. So I need a bit of basic white. So unprepared, Jez. So unprepared. Let's just get a new sheet out because I can't find what I'm looking for. And we're using, they're already mounted, Jez. You were prepared. So I'm going to use the same colour there. So I've got Tahitian Tide and Mango Melody. I am stamping off first before I'm stamping on. So we'll do our Tahitian Tide first. There we go. These are distinctive stamps, which means that you get light and dark shades in just the way that the stamp's made. It's magic that you get that variation of colour in your stamp. So I've stamped it off so it's deliberately that light so that I can then come in with my sentiment and stamp over the top so that that is visible. Would not be visible. There we go. If I hadn't done it, because you can see that's the first generation and it would have been lost on it. Let me show you. So you kind of see it, but it's not brilliant. It's rubbish, actually, rubbish. So that's that one. Put that away. So now I need to clean my stamp. I've re-embraced my chamois recently. This is the Stampin' Up chamois. It comes in a beautiful lilac-y colour, which is lovely. And then very quickly turns this colour, but as you can see, cleans it. So it looks dirty, but it's not. It just gets stained, and it holds the ink, so you can rub your hand on that and you don't get a dirty hand. And there, clean as a whistle. I keep it in, so occasionally stamp boxes get damaged in transit, so like that one, but that's perfect. So I've got ventilation in there, so I use this one then for my chamois. I did contact Stampin' Up. They sent me a new box, so that keeps it nice and moist, and every now and again I chuck it in the wash, and but that's good enough. If it dries out, which they do if you haven't used it for a while, then it goes rock hard, and all I do then is you have to rinse it under hot water. If you rinse it under cold water, it takes an absolute age for it to soften up. But if you do it under hot water, it just softens really nicely. So did I just stamp that off and then re-stamp it? Because that doesn't look lighter. Might have done, Jez. I don't know. Let me see what stamping off should have looked like. Yeah, although that looks okay. I can read that. I'm going to leave it. Not bothered. That will work for me. And so this is really bright pink. And look, clean. Sometimes you have to give it a little bit of a wipe around there. And what I find sometimes I need to go around the edges. And they're really good if you're using a stamp positioning tool. There, a couple of stamps off, clean as a whistle. There we go. Yeah, and they're really good that you can take it to the stamp positioning tool really, really well. So now we'll get the die. So I need that die for the back closure and that die to cut those out. So so this fits round there. I did actually just put them through the scan and cut. And what you have to do if you've got one is, can you see there? Shall I point with a pointy? Can you see there? It doesn't quite meet that flat. So all I had to do is I needed a pencil, drew a little line in there in a pencil, and then it would cut it out. And then I just rubbed the line out afterwards. But I'll do these with the, as I'm only doing 2, I'll do these with that. And then I just need a scrap of Melon Mambo and Tahitian Tide to cut that out. Look at it, all the multicoloured dots in that, because I'm too lazy to poke them out. So I'll get them cut out. So they're all cut out. And what I like about this one is you get like the indentation in the centre there. That's cool, that. It's very cool. I like it. Always stick. I have a little magnetic platform, but they do often jump. So I like to stick a bit of washi. And this washi has been used time and time again. But when it goes through the die cutting machine, it does press it really hard. And so even though that was a well used piece, it does end up sort of sticking. So I always do it just to the edge so that it doesn't then pull the die off. There, to get it off my dies. Right, so they're all done. So that's that bit done. Let's get rid of them. So I always, when I do swaps, I put my details, because as I'm doing now, I always have a video tutorial how to make it. So if people want to recreate it, they can come and find me. So that just lets them know. And then we are gonna just, so, oh, not that one. That's not even it. These just go on the front. I was forgetting, do you know? I forget what I'm going to say halfway through a sentence. Cool. So I'm just sticking this on there. There we go. Bum, 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 bum. Always need a bit of music to make it stick. Oh. So I was filming something yesterday. I was just so tired. There was a few disasters. But I was like tired with it, whereas I'm like, I am tired today, but I've been out for a walk. So I've been going out for a walk every day for 3 weeks nearly. I've got an iPhone, so I've got like them rings, and so I have closed my ring now every day for, yeah, nearly 3 weeks. So I'm on a streak. So that is just going to go go around there. Now let me just check, because I had it. Yeah, that was it. So I kind of had it to make sure. So I went to these second little pointy bits, and they kind of sit either side of that curvature, and then I know that there's enough room then to open. So I put the glue sort of halfway across that diamond, and I've just noticed on this that there's a couple of wee things that haven't poked out, so we'll just poke them out. There we go. So then I am, so this second one in is going to go to either side there, and then we know we've got it centered and we've got enough room for the envelope to open. Do the same on this one, poke out them holes. If I had poked them out already of the die, they probably wouldn't have stayed in. Look, there's a green one there. Parakeet party that was, Jez, not green. There we go. So again, go across halfway on that diamond, and then match up that second one to that second one, and then that way I know I'm centered and I'm straight. And then you move it, Jez, and so what you like. There we go. Dun 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 dun. And then I'm just gonna undo that, take my bone folder and just curl that a little bit, and that helps with it going in. Let's have a little after 8 mint, and then so now that's curled a bit there, that will now poke down into there and hold it in place like so. Get another after 8 mint for this. One box wasn't quite enough. I thought, we had a box left over at Christmas, and I went, oh, ideal, they'll do my swaps. The date on it was fine, and then I just didn't quite have enough, so I was about 4 short, I think. And I thought, well, I'll use the little sewing kits in those 4. Can I find them? No, I really actually can't. So yeah, to go out this morning, well, yesterday we went on a walk, and I bought another pack, and I went, oh, I've got loads left over now. But we always have like sweets and snacks on our table, so I thought, oh well, we'll have them. So that's it. That is my little swaps. So yeah, cute. Don't cost much. I mean, I paid £2.50, I think it was, for the box of after 8 mints. There's about 30 odd in there. Does it actually say on the packet? Probs not. But there's 30 odd in there. So that is really quite a cheap little gift. I mean, I used sewing kits in them as well. They would fit in there, and they were quite cheap as well. I think I bought 100, so they would fit in there as well. That'd be a nice little thank you gift to pop to someone. So yeah, quite a cheap little way to add a little surprise. Okay, all the details will be over on nigezza.co.uk. I'll link that below to everything I've used that you can purchase in my shop, and I'll be back very soon with a video showing all the swaps that I received. So I hope you'll tune in for that. Bye for now.